Well, guys, here we are. Welcome back to the Inspo Pod. The last episode of season two. I am gobsmacked. Um, this has been a crazy, crazy journey, and I can't believe we're here. I'm already planning season three. It's incredible. Um, Today's episode is going to be pretty much a roundup of everything that we've learned in season two, and also just an insight into my year and where that's going and sort of things that I've learned recently over the past couple of months that I kind of want to implement going forward, bits of advice, bits of inspiration, and just things that I'm also going to take into season three myself, um, as well as where the podcast is going to go. So I guess with that in mind, let's get started. Um, so let's get into it then, guys. So let's round up season two. Season two was incredible. We've had some amazing, amazing guests. Um, we've had the amazing Charlotte Brown back, giving us inspiration on career, being self-employed, um, advice on how to be self-employed, how to be successful. Sorry, my hair is wild right now for those of you watching. And we've had Vary, the lovely Vary, back again. Um, for a third time, talking all things sort of being Taurus, career again, tips for being self-employed again, another self-employed gal, how our star sign fits into our life, how we find navigating 2024, and then what our goals are for 2025. We also had some amazing new guests on season two. So we had the beautiful Jasmine talking about her career and her incredible sort of career path across the world. So she traveled around the globe from country to country, and then has found her niche here in London doing marketing and has many startups. And she kind of gave her insight into different startups and how to sort of nurture your need for business, I guess, and how to navigate that. We also had the amazing Elle Brogan as well, DJ extraordinaire, talking all things Ibiza, DJing, following your passion. And that one was a little bit different. So that was kind of talking about how you can have a completely normal job whilst also nurturing your passion on the outside of that as well as a complete separate entity and still have time to sort of nurture what makes you happy. So that was a really good one. We've also spoke to the amazing Kate Morris, who is with a company called Loudspeaker, and we spoke a lot about women in the workplace really and women's values, and how to be a woman in a male-dominated space, but also how to have the confidence to sort of be your best self, I guess. Um, that was an amazing chat. Really thoroughly enjoyed that one. And then we had the amazing Fitnesses Bex as well. She came back for another episode. And then we had a couple of bits from me. Early mornings, discipline, keeping motivated. And I started you off with my PCOS journey in the last episode, which is something I want to continue. So it's been a really good season so far. Um, well, I say so far, we're at the end, guys. It's the end. Really good season. Thoroughly enjoyed all of the chats, and I think we took a lot away from this. I think we've learned, you know, tips and tricks for work life and career, but also a lot about kind of being a self-starter, whether that be, in your own business or starting your own business, or whether that be in the gym, motivating yourself to, self-starting your fitness journey or your health journey, or, with me and my PCOS and sort of the other things, the other health issues that I'm struggling with, sort of kickstarting your journey in getting better. So, a lot of what this podcast highlights is ways to better yourself. As I said, whether that's in career, personal life, fitness, spirituality, whatever it may be, it's about bettering yourself and making yourself a better version. Um, and I think it's really, really important. I think it's important we have these conversations. And I think it's important that we keep learning from each other as well. I've just come back from an amazing chat over a margarita. Um, always with a margarita. But I've just come back from an amazing chat with one of my closest friends, Vary, who's been on the pod quite a lot, and a friend of hers who I met tonight, who is hopefully going to be in season three. Um, and we spoke a lot of deep chat really about sort of who we are, what makes us who we are, how our family shapes us, how our background shapes us, but also how we can break generational curses and how we can change how we're shaped. So there's no denying that you are shaped from your family and your upbringing and your situations. And, we are all who we are because of our experiences and because of who raised us and because of our genetics. But there's also a lot of life that we can shape ourselves. And if you want to and you're willing, you can really, really redirect your life. There's stories out there of people who have been brought up in the most horrific conditions who have really turned their life around. And it just depends on what you want and how much you want it. And I do appreciate that it also comes down to opportunity, right? I appreciate that, some people have other opportunities than others. Some people have amazing opportunities or they just are in the right place at the right time. And other people don't get those same opportunities. That being said, there are people that have created opportunities for themselves. And I think that's really important to know. And I think it's just really inspiring to chat to all of these amazing women that I've spoke to throughout the podcast and get their insight into how they've become the women they've become. And a lot of it is from their own, who they are inside, A lot of it is their own desire to be who they want to be and their own confidence within themselves and their own desire to be the best version of themselves. And as much as that can come from your parents, your family, what you're taught, etc., more often than not, it comes from yourself. And this is something that I've had to learn through therapy is quite often my therapist has said to me, you've got this amazing inner strength, you've got this quality where you want to better your life, but you also want to better other people's lives, that you have this need to make people happy. Where does that come from? And I used to say, I don't know. I don't know really. I don't know where it comes from because I don't think I was taught it. Like, had a really traumatic upbringing, like really traumatic childhood at times, like really not okay, sort of toxic home environment, abusive home, that kind of thing. So I don't know where it comes from. And she would always revert back to the same thing, which is it comes from you. You have that within you. And anyone that's watching this on YouTube, a thumbs up in a bubble has just popped up. And that's so, I don't know how that's happened. That's so random. Um, anyway, yeah, and she always said it comes from within you. And I think as human beings, especially as women and women who have maybe been through things, that demographic in particular, we have a hard time thanking ourselves and the taking the sort of, the credit for things that we've done. We always want to credit other people and we always want to put ourselves in a box and say, oh no, we're not that great. Oh, it's not that great, and that's just a tendency that we have. And I think that can make it really hard to say, like, I've done this on my own and I've got this because it comes from within. But it's something that I've learned across the last year of my therapy journey, and that is that it does come from within. And, how lucky are we to have that within us, that ability to mold ourselves and to grow and to nurture our own personalities and to evolve and to be our best version, but also want to be the best version of ourselves. That's amazing. So if you're someone listening to this, and I imagine if you're listening to this, it's because you are that type of person anyway. You're someone that wants to be inspired and wants to better themselves and wants to, be a good version of who they are. And if you are that person, just take a moment to just be so grateful. Like, we're taught to practice gratitude every day. And one thing you should be grateful for is yourself and that energy that you sort of have within you. So just take a moment, just feel that gratitude, feel that, yeah, I'm listening to this because I want to be inspired and I want to listen to other women and I want to be part of the conversation and I want to, be a part of something that could make me feel better. That's amazing. Kudos to you. Um, and then once you've had that moment to sort of feel grateful and sort of, accept that you have that within you, then it's time to kind of look at where you can go with that and say, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to better myself? So yeah, I think these are really important conversations to have. And I think it's really nice that we can recognize that in ourselves and that we can be grateful for that. And that quite often we get where we are because of ourselves. I think it's amazing. I really do. And the conversation I've just come from has been such an amazing and enlightening conversation between three women, two of them in their late 20s, one in their mid 30s, all kind of on that same path of growth and learning and self awareness. Self awareness is such an important phrase. And just kind of being able to have that deep chat and discuss with each other, what we've been through, but how it shaped us and how we've learned from it and how we can grow from it is so crucial. And I do believe, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I do believe that men don't have these conversations enough. And I find as a woman, even as a woman, a lot of us don't have these conversations. I have so many shallow, I'd like to say it's a good word, shallow conversations with women when I meet new women, especially women that, are meeting on a night out or a party or whatever. It can be quite a shallow exchange. It can be, how are you? What do you do? Do you have a boyfriend? Oh my God, amazing. Do you love tattoos? Do you love music? Blah, blah, blah. It's very surface level, very shallow. And that's okay. Like when you first get to know someone, that is absolutely okay. But it's so nice to have the deeper conversations, especially with people you don't know, and just to have those deep conversations and have that self-awareness to be like, I'm a deep person with lots of levels, and it's absolutely okay to share that. And I think a lot of men don't have the ability or the desire, maybe, to do that. And I think a big conversation that needs to be addressed is sort of male suicide rates, male loneliness epidemic. A lot of the male loneliness epidemic is blamed on women and women's sort of, what's the word? Women's newly acquired ability to pick and choose men and to reject men on the basis that they don't meet their standards. That's quite a recent thing because we no longer need them. And so the male loneliness epidemic is quite often blamed on that and quite often blamed on the fact that, well, men don't know where they stand anymore. They're not needed anymore. It's so tough. And it's like women have kind of always felt that way. Women have always, needed a man and not always been chosen by men. That's like we deal with this. And the way we deal with it is we nurture our relationships with our family and our friends. People that we're close to, we have those deep conversations. And our girlfriends become the most important people in our lives. And I think the real reason for the male loneliness epidemic is men don't often have those deep connections. And this isn't, I'm not saying this across the board. I know this is very generic, what I'm saying. And I know some men do. There are men out there that go to therapy every week and know who they are and have the deepest connections with men and women in their lives. There are also men out there that maybe aren't that way inclined and are, more normal. I say more normal, that's a really bad thing to say, but sort of more what they would deem as normal. Like they don't engage in this kind of deep stuff. They don't do therapy. That's their normal, right? And even those men, some of them have amazing connections with their friends and they do engage in deep chats and they do it as much as they need to, which is absolutely fine. But there are a lot of men out there that don't have these connections at all. And I think it really does contribute to a feeling of loneliness, a feeling of being misplaced, a feeling of, well, I don't have these strong friendships. I don't have these other men sort of propping me up and being able to have these deep conversations. And I don't have any women in my life. And therefore, all of that manifests as anger, all that suppressed emotion and suppressed conversation can manifest in a really negative way. Because I think a lot of people talk about suppressed emotion, but suppressed conversation is, very similar. There's conversations you could have with people, and if you're not having them, that's suppressed conversation. That is things that you want to talk about with people, things you want to say, things you would love to have the ability to say if you were put in that scenario. But you're either never put in that scenario or when you are, you just don't engage in it for whatever reason. And those conversations never happen. And that is suppressed conversation. And that's part of suppressed emotion, right? And it does lead to an inner anger. It leads to that emotion kind of manifests in your body. It has nowhere to go. So you become an angry person or you become deeply depressed. And sometimes, you know, that leads to the worst outcome, the worst case scenario. So I think these conversations are really, really important. And my hope for this podcast is that it does reach men as well as women. And even if they just hear a snippet of a conversation between two women and think, "Oh, it's kind of interesting," they might listen to 10 minutes and switch off, fine. But just being able to reach them in that way and kind of have a little bit of an impact, I think is super important. And then any women that this reaches, you know, them being able to better themselves and have better conversations with their partners or their brothers or their friends or whatever men in their life, I think is also super important. So that's my hope. That's my hope for this podcast so far and going forward. Um, and my fear, my fear is that men will listen and go, "Oh, hate women talking to each other." Because a lot of men have that thought, you know, oh, women just talk crap and they all big each other up and it's just women, 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 it's feminism. And it's really dangerous, it's really toxic. And I would love to go into this in more detail. Um, because I have a lot of thoughts on this. And we're at a really crucial time at the minute, especially with, a lot of TV programs that are coming out and, podcasts and documentaries and all sorts of things. We're at a crucial time where like men are being fed and young boys as well are being fed a lot of toxic messaging and a lot of damaging messaging, which the crazy thing is it's coming from other men and other men think they're doing it to help men. But actually, in reality, if they really sat and thought about it, it's really not helping other men. It's like you're filling boys with hatred. You're not helping them. Like these boys are sad, they might be struggling, they might be this, they might be that. And it's not really nurturing them or helping them grow. So it's really quite damaging. It's really quite dangerous. And we're in a really crucial time at the minute where this is happening more and more, especially with the internet. And if we look back, we've never been in this scenario before. Never before has there been such an availability of information and such a spread of information and such an availability and access to opinion and facts or, you know, lies masquerading as facts or content that we've never had this before. The 90s, we didn't have this widespread internet and anything before that. So it's only been like so recent. And if you look at the timing of like how long the Earth's been here, it's like literally a snippet of time that we've had all this access to information and opinion and been so able to access the minds of so many millions of people across the globe at the touch of a button without having to leave our chairs, you know? So it really is a crucial time. And I think that's why it's important now more than ever to podcast, talk, discuss, inspire in a way that's productive rather than damaging. Because you're always going to have the people out there that are putting information out to the world that's damaging, and you're going to always have those negative influences. And for me personally, the reason I love this podcast is because I might not be reaching a massive audience. I might not be, I'm not famous. This isn't some crazy thing that I'm doing for like, there's a lot of celebrities out there, and this is no shade to them, but they're doing podcasts because it's a paycheck for them. It's like, oh, what can I do next? It's going to keep me relevant, and what's going to make people laugh. And that's all well and good. And those things are still important. Entertainment's important. People making money to pay their bills is important. Staying relevant in a way that entertains people and gives people a relief from day-to-day life is important. But it's also important to have these really important chats because we're in a time where information and opinion is so free. Like everything is everywhere. And we need to be displaying having these important conversations, having these deep chats, which is why I love having these conversations with these women because quite often we talk about things that might be more difficult to talk about or things that maybe go slightly against the grain, like even talking about being self-employed. A lot of people older people perhaps, not to discriminate, but sort of older generations are more likely to say, no, 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 you should get a full-time job, you should do this, you should do that. So let's have the conversation, let's open it up, let's talk about why following your dreams and being free and just taking a chance might be helpful. Or, some episodes we've talked about spirituality, like let's talk about that. Let's talk about what we know about it and what we don't know about it. Let's be honest, let's be real. Um, let's talk about therapy, let's talk about anything. Anything that's remotely inspirational. Like, let's have these chats because these are the chats that I have daily with my best friends. And I don't see why it shouldn't be on a public platform for people to be inspired by. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Season two, can't believe it. Like, it's crazy how it's become so second nature to me. Season one was like, oh my God, we're doing it. Planned it so far in advance. The episodes came out, I was so engrossed in it. It was like everything, it took up all of my time. And then I kind of had a break from it, did some other stuff, and then we came back for season two, and now it's like I just do it on the fly. And I remember in season one thinking, one day in life, it's going to be that the podcast doesn't just come out on a Tuesday, but we actually record it on the Monday night before, and then it always goes live the next day. So it's super relevant, super on key for what's happening in the world, super fresh, and transparent and honest and, full of integrity. And I remember thinking that's never going to happen because I'm never going to be in a position where I have the time for that or am able to do that with like a normal life as well. And now it's like I'm recording them weekly, not quite the night before, but almost doing it on the fly. And it's mental. So maybe season three will be in that position. Um, but I'd love to know everyone's opinion on what you want to hear more of and who you'd like to hear more of. And I want to inspire, I want to inspire. I do want to inspire, but that's not what I meant to say. I do want to interview some amazing women that I'm not already aware of. Like I love meeting new women and new people, in fact, if there's any men that want to be on it, and just being inspired by new people and having new conversations and opening new doorways and new pathways and, learning from each other. So I would love for people to reach out to me and get an understanding of, what podcasting is all about and be a guest, be interviewed, be part of the conversation. So yeah, the door's always open for that if anyone wants to get in touch. Um, and I think for season three and going onwards, I really do want to kind of hone in on inspiring in a way that is really authentic and talks about issues that are really real to people in this world currently. Um, so kind of taking it less generic and less work advice, but more sort of honing in on what are people struggling with? What can we learn? How can we better ourselves as a species? Like, what can we do to make ourselves better human beings for those around us? Like, how can we overcome the issues that we're all facing at the minute? Like, things that really matter, things that might be a little bit more hard hitting, but things that really are important in life. Um, and just to give like an overview of that, I think a few topics that are really important to me are sort of women's rights. I think we're at a pivotal point in life right now where women's rights are starting to be revoked in certain places and progress is kind of being undone. And I really feel that that causes a lot of deep sadness for me and a lot of women in the world. And it's felt globally, right? Something that happens in one country and another country and another country can really be felt globally because as women, we're all affected by it. I also want to talk about sort of male and females, how they interact with each other, um, how the internet has shaped gender roles and gender expectations. I think that's really important to discuss, really important to highlight and sort of delve into. Um, I also want to talk about slightly generic again. It's also back to sort of the work chat, but people like finding their niche in life and finding out what they want to do. Because I'm kind of at a pivotal point myself where I know really what I want to do, but I'm just not doing it because there's a block. And I find myself just kind of bouncing around because I don't have the confidence or the balls, quite frankly. My little tattoo, cute, to do what I really want to do and what my heart's desiring. And quite often I can use the excuse of, oh, it's divine timing, it's not the time. And I think that is an excuse because I think I just need to get the balls to do it, really. But I do also believe in divine timing, so it's kind of hard to navigate when it's an excuse and when it's reality. So I think that would be a really good thing to discuss. But yeah, I'd love to hear from everyone what you want to hear more of. It's been a really insightful season for me, and I think just the two seasons as a whole have been really therapeutic, enlightening, eye-opening, um, really, I don't know, really sort of nourishing actually to my soul. Like I feel like my soul has been nourished through these conversations. Um, and I hope that everyone else has taken something good away from it. So I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. That's season two. It's a fucking wrap. Let's fucking go. Um, and I think I'm just gonna finish on some icks because we love an ick and I have a lot to share. So let's get into it. So one of my icks in life is, I mean, I'm gonna start with a big one that's kind of not a funny ick, but it's just rudeness. People being fucking rude. People who maybe you've got to be in their bonnet about something and decide that they're just going to be an arsehole for the sake of being an arsehole. Like, grow a pair. I always think in life, like, if you're that person, the only person you're actually damaging is yourself. I've met so many people along the way, like work colleagues, managers, housemates, like friends, even family members, even who, like, something's annoyed them and instead of being the better person, they just want to be an arsehole. And you just think, well, it's only your own sort of image that you're damaging in doing that. And don't get me wrong, I've also been that person. Like I have done that in my life where I've been an absolute arsehole. But you kind of reflect and you learn and you grow and you look back and you think, do you know what? It's only me that I damaged by doing that. I looked bad and everyone around me probably thought she's being a bit of a dick. And you come to realize, you come to grow and learn that, being rude just you're not really affecting the person you're being rude to because they're probably just going to think, oh, well, good riddance, and I'm glad I'm not friends with you anymore. I just realised I made a tea and I didn't finish it. And it's got my lovely, for those of you watching, the Inspo Pod. So cute. I've also got my nips fully on show in this video, which is absolutely outrageous, guys. Is it outrageous or is it courageous? We'll never know. But I always say free the nip. I'm not a fan of a bra, to be honest. Um, there's an ick. Fucking uncomfortable bras. Get a grip. Get a grip. Um, so yeah, that's the main one. It's just rudeness. People being fucking rude for the sake of it. Like, grow up. Um, another ick. Oh my God, this is such a big one that I've literally been noticing time and time again recently in London. Um, but it happens everywhere. But I find like in London, it happens 10 times more than anywhere else because it's such a busy city, right? And I think in smaller places, it just doesn't really happen because there's less people crossing roads. But anyway, it's crossing a road, right? When you're crossing a road, I feel like people's brains just stop working. And like that whole mentality of humans being sheep, right? And the whole sheep mentality really comes into effect. The amount of times I've been crossing a road as someone, I like to think with a lot of intelligence, right? I've got intelligence, I can judge things. I'm quite clever, I'm quite switched on, I'm quite aware of my surroundings as well. I will be on one side of a road and I'll know that it's not green man, it's not time to cross, it's not time to go. But I can assess, I can judge, and I know if I go right this second and I walk quickly, I can make it, right? I'm in a hurry, it's London, I'm in a rush, whatever, don't judge me. But then people on the opposite side of the road or people behind me, instead of looking at the traffic and actually engaging brain to think, can I cross the road and not die? They see me walk and they walk. I've seen it time and time and time and time again. They they're either looking at their phone, not paying attention, but then they look up and see me crossing and just walk without thinking, which to me is fucking crazy why you would dice with death like that and just not look at the road. Or they're not looking at their phones, but they're just staring blankly ahead and they just see you walk and they go, oh, okay, I must walk. And they just go and then they like get halfway into the road and then go, oh my God, there's a car and run back. And it's like, oh, I don't know why. It drives me fucking insane. Because I'm like, oh my God, why do you copy me? Stop copying. I hate being copied and I hate being followed. I'm like, use your own initiative, use your own brain, your own brain. And honestly, I can't tell you how angry it makes me. It drives me fucking nuts. It drives me insane. So mental. But that happens a lot in life, right? Where people just follow the crowd. People are sheep. That in itself irritates the hell out of me. Like, crazy. Crazy. But I find that when it comes to like you're dicing with your own life, I'm like, that's when I take it up a notch and I'm like, you're fucking insane. You are insane. Like, I don't know, it just drives me like mental, absolute mental. Mental, mental, mental. Gives me an absolute mentee bee, guys. Oh, anyway, what else annoys me? People smoking in food areas. Get a grip. Fuck off. Go and ruin your own lungs. Don't ruin mine. I'm going to offend a lot of people with these icks, I feel. There's a lot of people probably right now that are so butthurt by these icks. Um, do you know what's a really big one, actually? And I'm going to call myself out here, is people that forget people's birthdays. And I'm the fucking worst for this. This is me calling myself an ick, right? I never remember a birthday. And my friends that will be listening to this will know exactly like I'm the worst. And I have to search through chats to see when I last said happy birthday to make sure I've got it right. And it's a really bad trait, and I'm so sorry to you all. But it is across the board. So if I do forget anyone's birthday, like it's it's not personal. Sorry, I just like hiccuped. Um, it's just not personal. Like it's not a you thing. Oh my God, so I'm doing everything, yawning, hiccuping, whatever. Um, it's just me. I'm just shit. I'm just a shit friend, shit family member, shit friend. Don't remember birthdays. I don't know what it is. Do you know what's funny? I can memorize someone's mobile number after seeing it twice. Memorize that shit. That shit is ingrained in my brain forever. Glance at it twice. I know your mobile number. Tell me your birthday 6 years in a row and I still won't remember it. And I do not know why. It's fucking crazy. Maybe I need therapy for this, but it's actually fucking crazy. It's an ick. I give myself the ick. Um, let's do some fun ones. Mullets. Fun ones, I'm just gonna name. We're just gonna run through them. Mullets. Can't stand. Those little moustaches that look like you're from the 118 advert, if anyone remembers the 118 advert. Can't stand. Why have you got that moustache? Get out. Um, Men in gilets. Get the fuck out. A gilet? What are you doing? Why do your shoulders need to be warm but your arms don't? Don't get it. Get the fuck out. Especially if you're going to work in London. You're going to an office in a gilet. Why? For what purpose? For what reason? If you're on a farm, I kind of understand it a bit better. I feel like they were made for like country bumpkins, right? A gilet probably had a purpose for a country bumpkin. If you're going to an office in Bank in the middle of London, you don't need a gilet on. What are you doing? Are you following the crowd? Are you trying to look like a well wanker banker? I don't know. Get the fuck out. Over it. Um, fruit flies. This is going off on a tangent now. Fruit flies. Who are you? Why are you here? Get the fuck out. God, I'm so done with myself. People that buy plants and don't look after them, again, guilty. I am an ick. But why? Why? And I say it to myself every day. I'm like, why? Why are you not nurturing this plant? Why have you bought this plant and you're not nurturing it? And then I go, oh fuck, I haven't watered it for like months. Let's give it some water. And then I overwater it and my plants are dead. It's just a lack of care, I'll be honest. Um, phone calls. I don't mind a phone call. And if my dad or my nan ring me, fine. Ring me any day of the week. Anyone close to me, ring me. It's fine. But unsolicited, unplanned phone calls from people you're not next of kin, don't bother. Why are you ringing me? Either tell me you're going to ring me or text me first, or like someone's dead, it's an emergency, ring me, fine. Other than that, I mean, even if someone's dying, text me. Babe, got an issue, answer your phone. Cool. All right, what's up? Don't just ring me. I can't stand it. That's a me problem. I need therapy. Can't do it. Um, nicotine pouches, hate them. Vapes, hate them. Um, vapor rub in a pot. Why? I don't want to get vapor rub on my fingers and then touch my eyeball and blind myself. Like, I believe they have brought out vapor rub now, actually, where it's not in a pot. It's like a roll on or something. Why did they not think of that years ago? Who puts toxic stuff that's going to sting the fuck out of your eyes and your vagina and your bum, wherever? If you put that shit there, you're gonna, it's, ooh, it's on fire. Why would you put that in a tub where you have to dig your fingers in? I don't get it. Don't get it. Back pain, that's such an ick. I get it all the time and I hate it. Um, and cats that don't love me back. My cat goes through so many stages of just not cuddling me and it really upsets me. That's quite a personal one. He gives me the ick. He doesn't really. I just love him too much. He actually gives me the opposite of the ick, which is why I'm angry because I'm like, please love me back. Like I love you so much. It hurts. Um, and I think that's it. I think I've got out all my icks for. Oh no, men that talk really loudly on the tube. Why? Men that man spread. Why are you sitting with your legs wide open on the tube or on a bus or wherever? Make room for everyone else. Do you want me to sit like that? Do you want me to take up space on your seat? Hmm? People that talk loudly on the bus, people that don't use headphones, people that play videos on the bus, people that scroll on the bus or the tube through fucking videos on TikTok or Instagram. Turn your sound off or put headphones in. Like, I can't deal. People that shout when they're on the phone, people that put their phone on speaker when they're on the phone in a public place instead of putting it to their fucking ear. Why? Who are you? What are you doing with your life? What else? What else? Central London in general gives me the ick. No, I'm joking. I think that's it. I think that's all my icks. There's a lot going on here, guys. There really is. I can't lie. The patriarchy, the economy, politics. There's a lot. There's a lot. Um, but we always do that for fun, right? It's all banter. Like we love a bit banter. If anyone's been offended, please don't be. Like it's all banter. I actually am a really nice person. And then just to summarize, things that I love. Let's like end it on a positive. Things that I love: inspirational conversations, podcasts, talking, women. I love women. Self-employed people, love you, inspirational. Or, but also people that run businesses, good for you. People that get up and do the 9 to 5 and they hate it, but they still do it. Good for fucking you, good for you. Like, love it. Love people with drive, love ambition, love people trying to better themselves, trying to better their health, trying to better their mentality, trying to better themselves as a human. Animals, obsessed with animals, love them. Just love the world. Love tattoos. I need more tattoos. Um, there we go. That's it, guys. Season 2 over and out. Oh, it's been a wild ride. It's been a wild ride. But yeah, grateful for all of you listeners and all of you watching on YouTube. I hope you have a wonderful night, wonderful day, wonderful week, wonderful month. And I will be updating on my Instagram and my LinkedIn page. Updates with season 3. I'll be sharing more from season 1 and 2, sharing snippets and, bits of info about the people I've interviewed. So if there's some episodes you haven't listened to, go back and listen or wait for the updates, have a look, see what you think. Season 3 will be coming out later this year. So as I said, keep your eyes peeled. We have an Inspo Pod LinkedIn page, we have an Inspo Pod Instagram, and then come season 3, we're going to do the web page, which isn't up and running yet. It's live, but it has nothing on it, so it's pointless looking at it. And I'm also going to write a book where I'm going to collate all of the inspiration and all of the advice that we've obtained in the first 3 seasons. By the time season 3 is done, I'm going to collate that into a lovely little book for you all. So, if you want to read more into these people and get like a snippet or a nutshell, of what they've said and how we've inspired, you can buy the book. But that is also a work in progress. So that will be updates to come. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy, your spirits, your wanting to like learn and wanting to grow and become better people. Appreciate you all and have an amazing life. Until next time. Thank you.